Hello.
Hi, we are Doctors Jennifer and Jake Dean Hill, and this is the Doctors J&J podcast. We are so excited to be here with you today. We are both licensed therapists. We work together, we live together, we lead together, so we understand the challenges of being able to work peacefully and harmoniously together. We have come up with a simple, concrete solution. It's called Wear Two Crowns.
Wear Two Crowns is all about equity, learning how to bring out the strengths in each other, and learning how to share the power in the relationship so that we can all be better together. Each week, we're going to give you tips and tools and strategies and even personal stories to help you wear two crowns. And we're going to invite experts in the field of relationships that will help to educate us, inspire us to wear two crowns as well.
Yes. So tune in each week. We look forward to our time together.
Hello, welcome back to the Doctors J&J podcast. We are so enjoying being able to share some information with you and just share a little bit more about our lives.
It's fun times.
Fun times it is. Today we want to talk about learning how to be married. A lot of people are doing this, getting married, but a lot of people don't know how to be married. And obviously we make a living off of this, helping people to learn how to be married.
We do make a living off of teaching people how to be married. And this episode came out of one of my couples sitting on my couch after they were dating for probably 5 years. And they finally decided to take the plunge and put a ring on it and get married. And they sat on my couch kind of baffled, thinking, I can't believe how much we didn't know about being married.
Right.
And what really was involved with getting married besides having a wedding.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I could so resonate with them. We did not come into this marriage as marriage therapists. We probably became marriage therapists so we could actually figure out how to be married, to be fair, right?
Yeah, it was a vested interest for sure.
Absolutely. It was a dual benefit on that. And then hopefully other people are able to benefit from what we've learned and are still learning about being married. And relationships, people have always fascinated both of us. We both knew that we just wanted to work with people. So we both have this common desire to understand, relate, connect, and just really love people and teach people how to love each other better.
Oh, it's just one of our favorite things. And we
really
say all
is.
the time is we've learned, feels like we learn more from our clients than they learn from us sometimes.
It does. And we say this all the time. We love our clients. They
We
are
do.
just so much
They're
fun.
just amazing people.
Yeah, they
and
really are.
so shout out to all of our wonderful clients out there.
Absolutely.
And now we get to shout out to all of our wonderful podcast listeners.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
we love you too.
We love you.
We don't want you to feel left out. All you millions of podcast listeners.
We can only hope, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We want you to know too is that being married is not an easy thing to do. And even though it happens to a good majority, if not most of us, once, twice, 3, 4 times over.
Not ideal.
Right. It's very, very hard to keep being married and then to learn the DNA of this new relationship and this new person.
Yeah.
The blueprints of it is just constantly shifting and changing. There's no one way to do this. If there's anything we've discovered, it's that. It is, we don't even have a formula that we give people. We will definitely say there's some science to this when it comes to getting a positive chemical reaction, building the oxytocin in the relationship, the love hormone, being able to bring in more affection, gratitude. Doctors John and Julie Gottman talk a lot about some of the science behind relationships and how to build that connection. But attachment starts long before marriage.
Obviously, yeah.
So that's the hard part, right? We come into marriage with a very typically different ways of which we attach. Some can talk to attach a lot through maybe a trauma bond, maybe in their family of origin. There was some real trauma. And so they come together maybe because of a trauma or a huge conflict, or there's abuse in the home or addiction. So then they come into a marriage and they bring in their ability to connect in that way to their partner. There is avoidant attached, where you just are kind of keeping your person at a stiff arm because there's been hurt and woundedness with connection. You've been abandoned or left as a child. There's anxious attachment, where it's like you're never quite sure if the person is for you or if they're going to be there for you. And again, that comes with some real abandonment.
Scary.
Yeah, or abuse or mistreatment. And so none of us come together all packaged, ready to be married. That's the big thing we want to
it's messy.
encourage. Well, yeah, and I don't even like that word. It's just human. It's just human, right?
Right.
Like, and you can use messy. I don't want to discount that, but a lot of times I hear that, it's like messy. Everything's messy. I just sometimes just think
It's natural.
it's natural. Oh, that's a great word. It's raw, it's real, it's natural. That we come together as kind of undeveloped humans, and then we come into a marriage, and we're still trying to develop our own personal kingdom while still develop our blended kingdom.
Right. It's so
not
hard.
easy.
Like I used to think it's a cruel joke. I feel like God kind of had this real cruel joke with humanity that he took a man and a woman from two different family backgrounds, two different personalities, and he put them together and say, "Have a wonderful life."
Live happily ever
Yeah. And it's like, felt like a cruel joke. And I was like, used to get mad at God for that. I'm like, why would you do that to us? It's like, feels so cruel. But then I realized one day, I go, God did that because he wants us to be better together. Like, I'm supposed to learn how to blend. And I tell couples all the time, there's a reason why the term to be married is a cooking term.
Right.
If you ever watch a cooking show, watch next time. You're going to go, oh yeah, Jake said. They'll put sauces in the pan and they'll start swirling them around and they'll say, we're going to marry these sauces. What are they doing? They're blending. So to be married literally means to blend. And I truly think this is what we are supposed to be ascribing to do, is that we are not supposed to be frustrated by each other, but we're supposed to be better. We're supposed to be sharpened. We're supposed to be blended humans. And the end result, after 80 years of marriage, is that possible? How old are we? Yeah. If we live past 100, that we are going to be such better humans
We are.
as a result.
And that has been a leading force, I think, for both of our lives. Is we value personal growth, we value spiritual growth, we value just being able to be a more evolved human that gets to contribute to society. And the only way you can do it is through humility and doing it in community. And what better way than a marriage, right?
It's my favorite way.
At times it is definitely the least favorite way.
That is
and
true.
that is not unusual. And that's also something we want to normalize. Sometimes something so precious to you can be so very painful. And because it triggers those childhood wounds and those childhood attachment issues. And that is, if you know anything about attachment work, I won't go into all of that, but that is what happens when you love somebody. That intimate connection is triggered from the intimate connection from your mother, your father, your family of origin.
Yeah, it's all
siblings. It is. It's all related.
Yeah.
So it brings that up in you, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
For sure. Yeah.
So learning how to have a secure attachment, learning how to be married just takes a lot of time. It's a dynamic process, and you've never arrived.
Yeah, if you
There's
think you've
never a
arrived as a
destination.
married couple, then
Yeah.
you've stopped learning, you've stopped growing, and
You're coasting.
you're coasting.
Yeah.
And it's not, eventually you're going to pay for that. It's going to go downhill. And so it shouldn't be miserable work. It should just be rewarding work. And I tell people that all the time. It's one of the most hardest but most rewarding thing I've ever set out to do. Is
Wow, that's
to
beautiful,
be
right?
married and to learn how to blend with my amazing wife.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing. And I am such a better human because of you.
Oh, honey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well,
Well, I do feel the same. I feel that you have just enriched my life. You've expanded my mind to think differently. You have taught me the value of forgiveness, forgive quickly, apologize quickly, resolve quickly, and get to doing what we do best. One of the sayings we have in when we've been in conflict is we're lovers, not fighters, right? It's to
we have to remind each other of that.
we remind ourselves like this isn't our authentic us.
Right.
And when we've gone into those dark forest places where we're just missing each other, so many misunderstandings, which is usually what it's about, unmet expectations, misunderstandings, and that lead to just kind of small paper cuts that start to really just dice up your heart. Then that's when you have to really stop and you have to ask yourself, what can I do to be a part of the problem? Not all of it, because this is codependent then, right? And then what can I do?
Only part.
Yeah, only part. Maybe it's 1%, maybe it's 80%, right? But what can I do to be part of the problem? And then what can I do to be a part of the solution? So that we can grow and we can get back to loving and enjoying each other. And, there's sometimes even if we'll be on dates, like we were on a date the other night, I think I had to stop a couple times and it's like, this isn't working, or I just need more of this, or I need more of this. And thank you so much for your patience and listening to me. I just was tired and weary after a long week.
It was a Friday.
It was a Friday night and a lot had gone on. I think I was recovering from a cold too, and we'd had some challenging issues happen in our family lives and stuff, and we just were feeling just raw. And I remember saying to you, and you just made some kind of smart aleck comment, and it just was like, don't go there. I can't handle that. I just can't handle that, and I just really need some tenderness. I need a soft place to land. And you did such a beautiful job of just loving me. And I remember we just had to take a minute, we had a timeout.
Yeah.
And you went in and got a table for us. And you texted me saying, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming. I got to rally. Here I come. And recognizing you were just part of the problem, but you were not all the problem. It was just, I was in a raw space. And I was like, I just don't want to be hammered. I don't want to be teased. I just really want a very careful, soft place to land. And that is huge growth for us in our marriage, right?
It really is. And I think I hear that from a lot of couples though, where they just miss each other.
Yeah.
And so many times men and women especially are on such different wavelengths. And when we think about wearing two crowns and what that looks like in being married, is we have to take into consideration each other's differences, but we have to give each other both value.
Yeah.
We have to treat each other with mutual respect. And obviously, we never intentionally hurt our partner. Never.
Good point.
Like there's 1% of the population that are sociopaths or psychopaths that do intentionally hurt them.
This is true. And
Thankfully, we don't work with those.
we don't work with them. None of them are our clients.
And that's the probably the $1 million question is,
Yeah.
why do we hurt the ones we love? And I like
Right.
to remind couples especially, we hurt the ones we love because they're the ones we love. And if a perfect stranger said or did the exact same thing, it wouldn't even matter to us. But the reason it hurts us is because of who it's coming from.
Right.
And we have to take that in consideration because we think, oh, we should never hurt the one we love. Well, it's unintentional, but regardless, if it's unintentional, it still hurts.
Yeah.
Right? The unintentionality does not take away the pain. Don't forget that. But
Yeah,
also,
good point.
don't forget that the reason it hurts is because of who it is. And it means something, right? Our words and our actions mean something because of that strong connection we have.
Right. Our hearts are open to one another.
Right. And like a stranger wouldn't get that from you, and they
No.
wouldn't affect you. You'd be like, oh, they're a weirdo.
Yeah.
And right.
Yeah.
And
Duck off.
we can't do that so easy with our spouse.
Very true. Yeah, we would just duck out of that and not even consider twice what was said. But when it's our partner, it could be just a slight comment that just makes you go, that hurts and I don't like it. And how could you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was taking a curve too quick and I was driving and you said to me, trying out those new tires,
Yeah.
which wasn't even bad
I was
at
trying to be
all.
cute and funny.
It was
like,
cute and funny.
Yeah,
It wasn't
but
cute
it
and funny.
missed. Like
It missed big time.
she had no clue what I was talking about, and she
Yeah.
did not realize she was Parnelli Jones going around the curve. And I was like impressed, actually. Like, wow, those tires are really gripping the road well.
That you just purchased for
That
my
I
car.
just put on her car. So I'm like, maybe she was trying to test those out and show me how wonderful the tires were. Nope. That did not land in any way, shape, or form.
No, yeah, it felt critical. It felt kind of snide. But more importantly, it felt off in the emotional space that I was in. And
Right.
instead of putting you down, what I had to learn, I'm still learning, is to say, this is the emotional space I'm in. And I wish that could be funny to me right now and I could laugh, but I'm not. And that kind of stings and I don't like it. And I wish it didn't sting,
Yeah.
But I need some grace. But more importantly, I need just some tenderness. And that is not easy for a strong, confident, capable woman to ask for. It has not been a go-to for me.
Oh, no.
Quickly.
Just to say, I'm feeling needy and need a hug, or I need
Oh.
some tenderness, or I need some comfort. It's like,
Yeah.
that's rough. That's
It
tough.
is. It is rough. But it has been probably the biggest game changer for our relationship is to ask for comfort. And
Oh, that was huge.
Yeah.
Learning that.
yeah.
Yeah. And you don't realize how foreign that is.
Right.
Especially in this country, I feel like it's not a popular thing to not only ask for, but we don't even know how to give it.
Or even what it is.
Right.
We didn't know. We had to
Yeah.
go to a class on it.
Yeah, we went to a
Yeah.
whole seminar on learning how to comfort each other, and we felt pretty dumb afterwards. But
We
then we
did.
realized how incredibly valuable it was.
Absolutely. And we taught our kids to ask for comfort. And that's something that has just stuck with us because it is an essential piece of being a human.
Yeah,
Just because we're just babies grown big. And we do not outgrow the need to be held, rocked, our backs rubbed and patted, right? It's something that is really essential to be able to get us through some difficult parts of life. So that's probably the biggest component I would say in marriage is learning how to be married, is learning how to celebrate with each other and learning how to comfort each other. Those are two things that we have had to really learn. We've always done celebrating really well, I thought. But the comfort piece, I think, has been challenging to make sure that we are vulnerable enough to ask for it. My tendency is to be critical of you instead of ask for a hug or to be held.
right.
Is to just be like, why do you keep doing that? And how come you're doing it this way? Or, let me just wait and see. Or maybe if I give him a hint, right? And I've been blessed so many times with the confidence. I know that security that if I were to ask for a hug from you or a holding, you would never mock me, put me down. You would immediately respond with such a sincerity and a tenderness. And that is something that when you have that with your partner, right? And I hope you feel like you have that with me
Oh,
too.
of course. Yeah, I feel like I could ask that any time or any day.
Yeah. You can get through any stage in marriage, any crisis, anything.
Yeah, How many times have you talked to a couple where they are in this dark place and they're struggling, and you said, "Did you ask for a hug? Did you ask for comfort? Did you ask for anything you needed?" And they're like,
Rarely.
"No, but if they loved me, they would know."
They would know. The biggest myth we debunk,
Yeah.
especially with women.
If they loved me, they would know. It's like not a good thing to hold on to, because it's just going to disappoint you every time.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we like to think about is in being married is the different stages we've been through in being married. And one of our first stages, obviously that newly married stage, and these are just stages that we've named for ourselves, but that newly married stage, we had some important tasks to learn during that time in coming together. Our first home was in Cottage Grove, Oregon. We lived there for about a year and a half. We came from LA area.
An apartment, not a home.
Right, yeah, so it was a home to us.
Was
We made it
our
a
home. But
and came from Southern Cal, highly populated, very crowded LA area,
to a town of 7,000 people.
known for its covered bridges. And it was so surreal.
Little shock to the system.
It's
But,
something out of Little House on the Prairie.
we wouldn't trade it for anything, though, because it was
No, we
such a
wouldn't.
magical time.
It really was.
But our newlywed years were definitely full of adventure.
They were. And I remember as we had our little apartment that overlooked our little brook, it was really cute. We thought it was great. We went back and saw the thing. It's a complete dive, but at the time we just thought it was wonderful.
It was the Taj Mahal for us.
It was the Taj Mahal. We were broke and college students paying off bills, and it was just wonderful to start our lives that way. And we loaded up our U-Haul shortly after our honeymoon and came up to the Northwest and have been up here ever since. But that year and a half that we were together, we had to learn how to
blend. Do you remember what you did when you came into my kitchen?
Well, I made it my kitchen.
Because, mind you, we picked out that apartment together, but
Yeah.
I moved in before she
Yes.
moved up after being married, and obviously I had it set up in the guy's way, my way, and I'll never forget. She came in and said, "Why is the silverware in this drawer? This is the wrong drawer for the silverware." And I was like, wow, I did not get that memo. Like, where is the diagram for where the silverware goes? And
Why did I think that had to be the drawer for the silverware too?
well, the funniest part is as offended as I was at the time, it made perfect sense that you have to make this apartment your own. You can't just stay exactly how I had it. Otherwise, there's no blending going on. And truth be told, when she moved the silverware drawer near the dishwasher,
Yeah.
it made a lot of sense.
Very efficient.
It was much more efficient, and I stood corrected.
Yes.
And I was happy to share that kitchen with you, because a lot better things came out of that kitchen once you entered the picture.
That's true. Being the cook that I am. Yes.
Yes.
And do you remember what happened when I took down your sunset pictures that you had made too?
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to put up some different pictures.
Yeah, you wanted to redecorate my
Bachelor pad.
My bachelor pad. Like, yeah, why I was offended by that either, because there was nothing appealing to the apartment, really.
Right.
But yeah, those are some funny growing pains that seems like every couple runs into, as far as somebody's a neat freak, somebody's a slob, somebody, likes, certain things, or, the whole night owl or morning person. There's so many differences that you have to navigate.
Right. Absolutely. Learning to sleep together can be really challenging too. That's when I started realizing you had a mild sleep disorder where you would talk in your sleep, and that was terrifying. And I couldn't wake you up. And
We had great conversations, though.
we did.
It was creepy,
It
but
was super creepy.
she would inform me later of
Yeah.
this wonderful conversation we had. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
pretty amazing. But yeah, learning each other's quirks and learning each other's preferences and what we like. I think the biggest one too was blending of the families was really exciting, fun, and challenging.
Which is always the case.
It is, and we both come from just amazing parents, and also just very different families. And there was a real challenge. Both my parents were doctors and therapists in Palm Springs, California, and yours were in Redondo Beach.
Yeah, my parents were in Redondo Beach and just had very different careers and different lifestyles altogether. And you know, just like many families, you know, you grow up different. You have different traditions, different styles, and learning how to blend, because it's not a right or a wrong. But sometimes you come in and go, well, we've always done it this way in our family,
right?
And we always encourage couples. Sometimes we think that you can't call your family a family until you have kids.
Yeah, good point.
But I like to remind newlyweds even, it says, you are establishing your new family with just the two of you.
Right.
And you get to start your own traditions, your own way of doing things. And we get to say, instead of saying this is our way of doing it, which refers to your family of origin, you get to create an our way as a couple. And it's so fun to watch couples do that. And obviously we had to do the same thing of saying, like, what is our tradition? Everything from, we open all of our Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. Well, we open them on Christmas morning. Well, which one's right?
Right.
Neither.
Can you do both? Yeah.
Right.
Can you blend that?
And how do you figure those traditions out and make them your own? But it just comes back to having a value, right? That there's a crown on your head and there's a crown on my head. And so your traditions are just as important as my traditions.
Right.
Your perspective of where the silverware should go is as important as my perspective.
Yeah. Your family is just as important as my family.
Right.
And figuring out how to navigate those two different family systems and connections and relationships. And we are so blessed. My parents have passed on. Jake's parents are still here, and it's such a blessing to have them in our lives and see them age, and the contribution that they've given to our relationship through the years, and our family has been
incredibly supportive. Yeah,
very supportive in a lot of ways. And both of our families have been supportive in different ways to us, which has been really fun to be able to benefit from that. And both have had their difficulties, right? Which is to be expected.
Right.
We again completely normalize that. But those are the first few years of your typically relationship, unless it's a blended family where children come into play.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's like intensified.
Yeah, obviously
my.
we did not have that, but a lot of couples do when they get married. They just have the his, hers, and ours, kind of situation. And, obviously we kind of, moved into our dink stage of the relationship where we were both working full time and no kids, and we were just doing our thing. And it's amazing how much easier sometimes we feel like the marriage is during that season, because I remember we would just get home from work, flop on the couch, and just lay there with each other for sometimes an hour or more, and just connecting, holding each other, playing, talking, and how quickly that went away when kids came.
Yeah, we missed those times, didn't we? And we were without kids for almost 5 years.
Right. And so we had 5 years just to enjoy that, which was kind of part of our plan. And not every couple gets that, but it's, that's a whole nother adjustment. And one of the things that we encourage couples is, how do you maintain some of that, just free spirit, relaxed, connecting time when the kids come? Because so many times we see couples where they set their marriage on the shelf when the kids come along, and we think it's such a noble thing, obviously, to put the kids first, and they have all their attention. And then once the kids get old enough to kind of do some care for themselves, we forget what shelf we put our marriage on.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And we forget that, and I remind couples of this all the time, is that really the best gift we can give our kids is a thriving, loving marriage. Creating an environment in that home that your kids want to be in. So yeah, putting your kids first is very common and it's very easy to do. But we always think that keeping things in the right order, putting your marriage first, because those kids got there because of the marriage, right? Those kids wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the two of you first. And so it's so important that you keep your marriage first and your kids, are a close second to that, because that will end up giving them a gift of a loving household.
Absolutely. Plus, you don't want to put the pressure on the kids to keep you together or to keep you loving each other and liking each other. They don't want that pressure. It feels really uncomfortable. And it is something that you want to have developed before the children, ideal, but not always something that can happen for a variety of circumstances. And so something that typically has to continue to develop, which I would say takes us into our next stage, which is the family planning or the parenting stage, the family stage of the relationship, which I think was, without a doubt, some of our greatest highs, some of our greatest lows, it seems like, for a variety of reasons.
Well, it's just hard.
It is so hard.
Any way you slice it, kids are such a blessing and they're so
really are.
fun and most parents would agree, right? They just we're so glad we had kids, and usually no regrets on that. But the strain on a relationship and trying to manage the time and the effort is so difficult.
Yeah, I remember when we first had McKenna, our oldest, who we absolutely adore, and we have a son too, Dawson. They're only about 14 months apart. We did not plan that, but we call him the best surprise ever, and truly some of the best things we have ever done with our lives. We will say that hands down. We just adore both of them and their partners. They've got some fabulous partners. But I remember when McKenna was born, I remember thinking, for the next 18 years, my life is forever altered. My resources are going to go into this. My body is going to go into this. It was just such an overwhelming burden, to be able to consider. I've never lived for anybody besides myself.
What did we sign up for?
What did we sign up for? Yeah, what did we sign up for? And how is this going to end? Because there's no guarantee on this.
Right.
Right? And my biggest concern is, what if I injure them or hurt them, or physically, emotionally, spiritually, in any capacity?
It's stressful.
It's so stressful, right? So I think that automatically puts a lot of parents into almost this low grade survival mode. I think it did with both of us. We both became very what is the word? I don't want to say intense, but I felt that we both lost some joy in a little bit because
we took the job very seriously.
We wanted to do. We were very conscientious. We wanted to do a really good job, and because of that, it would bring in some additional strife that we had never experienced, and then pressure on ourselves. Plus, you're getting triggered from your own childhood and how you want to do things better, or you want to bring in the greatness that you experienced from your childhood, and then you're competing with those two conflicting views.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a lot to negotiate and navigate.
It was, but it was something that we both really wanted to be a part of, and I loved that.
That's true.
And that was when I quit my full-time job, came home, and we did the peer marriage model where we both provided, we both parented, and we kind of split the week in half. And it definitely shared the load. And that was probably the hardest blending we did, trying to coordinate schedules and coordinate tasks and all of that went into parenting. Like, what does the school need and what communicate that and the kid keep track of the homework and whatever the doctor's appointments and whose day is what. There was so much coordination and so much collaboration
Yes.
that was needed, which really brought us to a whole new level of marriage.
Yeah, and that part was really fun. We didn't see that modeled much.
Yeah, at
So
all.
we felt like we were kind of pioneers in this. And so we both had our part-time careers and then full-time parenting. Both of us
Right.
were doing that and trying to build that and buy a house and we both made big career adjustments because our careers were not affording us the lifestyle that we wanted. We just wanted a different quality of life and not just financial, but mainly time-wise. We wanted more time
Right.
for our kids. We wanted more vacation time. We
Yeah.
wanted like a couple months off for vacation to be able to take the kids. All of our family was out of town, so take them down to California. I remember it was a big concern for ours to make sure that we were connecting with both of our families and parents
Right.
down there.
Yeah, we wanted them to know their grandparents,
Yeah.
and that was important. So, yeah, we just, you look at all the transitions, and then obviously transitioning to them graduating, going to college, and becoming the
Getting
empty
married.
nest. And, that was bittersweet. And it is
Oh,
for every
yeah.
couple, right? Where it's like, we've invested the last 18, 20 years of our life in these humans, and
They left us.
they flew the nest, and it's the goal, but it's also like you've worked on this, this project per se, or not a project, but you've just invested so much, and then it's like
It is a project.
there's this letdown.
It's a parenting project. It was
Parenting
something we both
project,
just
right.
put so much time and attention on, and we redirected our careers professionally, put a lot of things on hold to
Right.
say for the next 20 years, this is our focus, this is our investment, while we also had the strain of providing for the family, paying off school bills that were
Right.
in abundance with our
Yeah.
doctoral or master's degrees and everything.
Yeah.
So it was a very, I think it was a very defining time, for us coming through that and then coming into the empty nester where we're like, now who are we? We kind of left ourselves behind and we had to go back to our college days a little bit more. And we found ourselves, I think, going through some of the stages of grieving because it's another change.
Sure.
We're like, who are we now as a family? It's you and I again, right?
It's back to you and I.
Right. So it's the us. So what does that look like? And then how can we be considerate of each other in the grieving process, as well as being able to redefine
Right.
and recreate us? And
Look at us now.
but I've heard, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never telling empty nesters this, but that it's the hardest time of the marriage. Would you say that was the case for us? Yeah, I think some of us when leaving some of our careers and trying to recalibrate and
Yeah.
going through a lot of loss and change with that. I think that was probably one of our harder times. But
Yeah, I don't think it was the most challenging.
Yeah.
It was definitely an adjustment, and I think we both kind of went through that differently. But I think it was a fun opportunity for us to renew
yeah,
our joy in the marriage and
Absolutely.
our renewed time, right? All of the time and effort that went into parenting. Now we had that extra time to put into each other in the relationship. That granted, in a perfect world, we would always keep that balanced, but the reality of it is when they're gone and you're just left staring at each other, you do have more time and you do have that. But a lot of times I see couples where the empty nest comes and they haven't done any cultivating or investment up to that point. And they look at each other and they go, who are you? And why am I with you?
Yeah. Why am I here?
And so we just want to encourage you to take the time before the empty nest to renew that, so that when the actual nest gets empty, that you actually have this renewed excitement to move into that phase of your marriage.
Yeah, I'm working with a couple now, and they're literally planning for empty nester. Their youngest is in middle school, and they're planning like 5 years from now we're going to be empty nesters and retired, and what's it going to be like? And I just so admire that. We were not as strategic, I don't think, as that, and I don't think a lot of couples are. And I also think it's hard to prepare for something you've never experienced.
It's true. It's all new for every couple. And I think that's great to plan ahead and to, think about what that's going to be like.
Yes, but nothing can prepare you, I think, especially as a mother, for the grief that comes with that, right?
Well, your role, right? One of your main roles is mother.
Yeah.
And father, right? And you were just wife, and then you were mother for so long. And then, I think it does tend to be harder for women in that, because they're just so nurturing and they take such pride in that role and that title of mother. Obviously,
yeah, absolutely.
You maintain that title, but it just changes. And then, I love your term. Jen came up with the term, now we are free birds. Instead of empty nesters, as birds who have an empty nest, we are free.
Well, I like the concept of now we get to fly, and we're not sitting here mourning the empty nest. It's like, it's an empty nest. No, now we're free birds. It's like, go fly. Like, we travel and do things. We finally buried our last pet, a couple years ago. And boy, has that actually made us completely free, right? So we are taking care of nothing except for a couple houseplants. That's it.
Barely.
And I will say, too, the fatigue in nurturing for some can be a freeing feeling. And there was a freeing feeling along with the loss. I'm like going, all I have to think about is how to feed myself and do my own laundry, right? That was like such a beautiful, freeing feeling and a devastating feeling all at the same time. And what's fun for this is, in the free bird stages, we're coming into this, I'm going, you know what? I'm finding so much joy in just being able to care for me, care for us, do things that I didn't ever have time to do, explore some new options. We do a ton of travel now, back and forth with our kids who are, traveling to their place. So seeing our grandkids. So I think the free bird, if coming into this stage, it's like our wings are clipped in that family stage, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're going through the shock of the empty nest stage and trying to recalibrate as a couple. But now it's like, okay, one of my dear friends says, I finally got this empty nest thing figured out. And we did it all together, where we raised our kids together, different things, and we went into empty nest together. And she's like, I finally got this empty nest thing figured out. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I think I finally got this empty nest thing figured out. And now I get to play. I get to have fun. Our kids get to take care of their own problems. We get to be there to support them, but we don't have to parent them. We don't, thank God for that. We've got such great kids, high functioning and just doing so well. And in fact, they have a couple times fired me. No more parenting, Mom. Stop.
Yes. Like, we're grown adults.
Right.
And we are so proud of them.
So now I just parent you. No, just kidding.
That is true. I do, give you opportunities for that. But
no, that's the beautiful part, is just being able to, in this stage, is being able to be this dynamic of allowing the change and the shift to be able to enjoy some new freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. We just want to encourage you in this, whatever season you're in, is, don't don't forget that to be married is to blend. And so the blending part is the hardest, right? It's that whole compromise. It's all of that. But we want to leave you with this crown jewel.
Yeah.
That don't forget to make marital growth a priority so that you can be successful.
Well, yeah, I think that marital growth just gets to be your lifelong adventure.
Right. It becomes a lifelong commitment that says we're going to grow. We're going to grow through every season. We're going to make it a priority for us, and we're not going to stay stagnant.
No, that's our crown jewel.
Yeah.
That marital growth becomes your lifelong marital adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing in it is to do it through all the different stages. Allow your relationship to be dynamic. Allow for some time and space for grieving as you go through each change, and then allow some time to embrace something new and wonderful.
There you have it. Another episode in the books, and we are honored that you took the time to join us and listen. And if you think somebody else would benefit from this as well, we hope you'd pass it along and join us next time.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye-bye.